Hello and welcome. We've got so many people here from all over the world, which is great to see. We've got Cape Town, São Paulo as well. Well, welcome. This is a brief overview of our future forecast report. So this is by far one of our most popular reports. And essentially, it's a trend briefing for 2025. And it's designed to help you navigate the key insights, the opinions, and the future opportunities crucial to your strategic planning in the year ahead, and also beyond that as well. And so what is it based on? Well, our future forecast builds on our intelligence platform, LSN Global's sector-focused research, and that includes insight, foresight, trend forecasting, and strategic analysis across the key areas where we believe brands and companies should be focusing their attention. So, as I mentioned, LSN Global is the trends intelligence and consumer foresight platform from the Future Laboratory. And having access to LSN Global, as many of our members would agree, is like having access to a full insights and research team, but at your fingertips. So we ensure you're prepared for an ever-changing future by understanding consumers as they evolve and knowing exactly how to use the latest global trends, insights, market-leading foresight, and lifestyle sector innovations to your advantage. So what can you find on LSN Global? Well, there's research across over 21 industry sectors. And this includes access to all of our macro trends, micro trends, and consumer behavioral analysis and reports like this one. It gives you exclusive access to all downloadable reports. So these are easily shared with your team. And we make sure that you have the top line strategic implications, the takeaways from every report. We give you exec summaries, and we incorporate multiple data sources, including our own future poll research. But being a member also includes access to all sector online events and on-demand webinars. And you get access to our community network and our Academy masterclasses, very popular, and they're held by our co-founder, Martin Raymond. But I've also got exciting news too. You're going to be able to discover more, an awful lot faster, with our new generative AI tool, and we've christened this Emma. So it's designed to empower your research. It's designed to get you to what you need at speed. And it positions the Future Laboratory as your ultimate intelligence partner. If you're not a member, you're very welcome to book a demo, and it really is the best way to find out more about what we can do for you and your business. So for now, I'm going to hand over to Shay and Dan, who are going to walk you through this brilliant report.
Thank you, Fiona. And hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today. So as Fiona mentioned, this is a quick overview of this future forecast report. We have 50 trends in the report, but today we will only be sharing a few of these. And to access all of them, you can read the report after the webinar. So this year was a special year for trends because I feel like everyone now can feel like a trend forecaster. If you just follow culture, social media, if you know about Very Demure, Very Mindful, if you know about Brat Summer, you are basically a trend forecaster now. And what we say in this report is that actually you are not exactly a trend forecaster because all these micro signals are actually part of broader shifts that we at the Future Lab have been monitoring and tracking for years, mostly thanks to our methodology. And in this future forecast report, the key word I would say for us this year is curiosity. And curiosity across all the sectors that we cover in this, and curiosity also about the people who design, create services, products, experiences, and that's I would say is the best takeaway from this entire report. So as I said for today, we are only going to focus on one trend per sector. There's a lot of them, so brace yourself. And we are starting with beauty.
Thank you, Dan. So in 2025, the beauty sector will evolve through a blend of culture, innovation, and consumer connection, with a growing demand for purposeful, regional, and technology-driven products. From guoqiu, a movement celebrating Chinese heritage, to functional perfume offering mental stimulation, beauty brands are raising the bar on how impactful their products could be. We've also examined the texture hair care and Gen Alpha markets, as well as sun care innovations, highlighting the industry's ongoing efforts to diversify. So in the report, you'll find 5 trends related to the beauty sector, but for today, let's focus on just one of them, the rise of Gen Alpha beauty. So as Gen Alpha become a driving force in consumer behavior, beauty brands are increasingly tailoring their products to this tech-savvy generation. Gen Alpha are highly influenced by online content, with Mintel revealing that 66% of beauty users aged between 12 and 14 discover new products through social media. Notably, in 2023, there was a 27% increase in skincare products and purchases in US households with 6 to 12-year-olds. Collaborations between beauty brands and gaming platforms like Roblox further illustrate how brands are reaching younger consumers through their favorite online spaces. And as Gen Alpha continue to grow in influence, beauty brands must adapt to their expectations for engaging digital-first experiences that are playful, authentic, but also age-appropriate.
Next is food and drink. So the food and drink landscape next year is really promising, and we forecast a fusion of creativity, sustainability, and indulgence. So think cell-based coffee alternatives that combat climate change, or snacks that pack a nutritional punch. All of these trends are part of a broader shift that we are calling functional feasting, based on our latest food and drink macro trend released earlier this year. And so whether it's turning fast food into luxury fashion or embracing bold and conventional flavoring like spicy, sweet and spicy, brands are really catering for increasingly conscious and adventurous palates. And I'd love to share this quote from my colleague Gabriela Bialkowska, who leads the research on food and drink here at TFL. And she says, as climate change and economic instability put pressure on margins for staples like coffee and chocolate, essentials like olive oil are becoming status symbols. So brands must ask, what defines the new luxury in the evolving food and drink landscape? So the trend I wanted to share with you today is water's glow up. So water is undergoing a rebranding because consumers seek more than just hydration. If you look on TikTok, there is an entire community creating content under the hashtag water talk. And they showcases what they call sexy water. So these are creative blends enhanced with electrolytes, powders, and syrups. And this movement really highlights how water is becoming both functional, but also flavorful. So we have a few different examples in the report, but the one you see on the screen on the right is Yacht Water. So this brand kind of like has a luxury twist on water. It's really tongue-in-cheek, and it's all about representing the high-end lifestyle with this beautiful packaging that is basically just sparkling water. But it really comes with this bold, nautical-inspired packaging and playful messaging.
Now on to sports health and wellness. So this sector is experiencing major change. The rise in health-conscious consumers, coupled with advances in technology and medical treatments, has opened up new avenues for businesses to explore. From the influence of weight loss medications like Ozempic to Gen Alpha's rise in spending power, companies must adapt to meet the growing demands of the ever-evolving consumer. Now, onto our trend for this section, female sports rising. Women's sports are coming into focus with initiatives across the world championing empowerment, inclusivity, and diverse representation. In fashion, Rafa and Cycle Sisters introduced performance wear for Muslim women cyclists, breaking barriers in athletics apparel, while Skims partnered with the WNBA to elevate female athletes as cultural icons. LSN has also highlighted the power of female fandom in our Game Changers, the Future of Sports Fandom Macro Trend Report. And with women's sport set to make £1 billion in revenue for the first time in 2024, this underlines the commercial opportunities and movement towards greater equality and inclusivity across all levels of sport.
And this is the right moment to plug that if you buy the PDF, at the end, you'll have access to our calendar of key dates for next year. And there are a few women's sports events that we added to that calendar.
Yes.
So next is retail. So there's always a lot to say about retail, but we believe that for next year, the emphasis is really on retail becoming even more immersive, interactive, and socially conscious. So in the report, we talk about pop-ups, we talk about AI in-store and autonomous stores. Also, we talk about retailers combining content with commerce, and those who redefine second-hand shopping. And that's exactly the trend I picked for today. So the resale market, or the pre-loved market, is really being rebranded by very innovative brands and innovators. In a notable shift, we have seen some interesting partnerships, like eBay UK partnering with Love Island as its first pre-loved fashion sponsor. We have also seen Oxfam here in the UK celebrating secondhand September with London Fashion Week and Vinted. It was a few months ago. They had their own catwalk styled by Bay Garnett. And I would also love to highlight Upstream. So that's the visual you see on the screen on the left. So Upstream is a very interesting startup that we interviewed this year for a whole piece around what they do. And they basically want users to stream fashion like they stream music. So users pay a stipend every month, and then they receive clothes every month, like surplus stock from various brands, and they can stream, so use these clothes, and at the end, either choose to buy them or return them. It really shows how innovative this pre-loved market is getting.
Now on to travel and hospitality. So in 2025, the travel and hospitality industry will balance hyper-personalized science with novel fantasies, climate-motivated travel with homebody hospitality, and new consumer markets expanding in size and in value. Preventative health and longevity travel is leading the charge, while niche packaged holidays are rising in popularity. Coolcations are emerging as the climate crisis hits traditional skiing destinations, and social connection is making a comeback with club culture, emphasizing consumers' strong desire for community. Meanwhile, China and India, these emerging traveler markets are thriving, reshaping global tourism with their growing influence, affluence, and desire for new experiences. So on to our trend for this section, coolcations. As climate change threatens traditional skiing destinations, a shift towards coolcations is emerging. Studies show that by 2100, up to 20% of skiing areas could lose between 50 and 100% of their snow-cover days. Regions like the Andes, Australian Alps, and European Alps will see significant declines in snow days, prompting new skiing destinations, which is a topic we have also examined on LSN in our New Skiing Frontiers report. But against this backdrop, innovative new concepts are emerging. Like in Quebec in Canada, they have unveiled the world's first winter pickleball spa, where guests can engage in friendly competition while enjoying luxurious Nordic spa treatments, including massages and outdoor saunas. Also, China is aiming to create 300 million skiers, and in order to do so, they are rapidly developing new skiing resorts.
Off to pop culture in media, which is supposed to be my specialty. So when we thought about what's next for pop culture, we really wondered how will people consume content next year? And obviously we looked at streaming platforms and how they're trying to get into the real world with immersive experiences. But I really wanted to look into books and what's next for books. And we came up with this trend called Beyond Books. So as you may know, books have become more than products, and they are instead symbols of lifestyle. And what we talk about in the report is that there is a rise of reading adjacent ventures, transforming the way we engage with literature. And these innovations really go beyond the page. They really blend sensory experiences with social and digital elements. For instance, the writer Sable Young released their first book this year called Die Hot with a Vengeance. It's fiction. And when they released the book, they paired it with perfume. So you could buy the book and you could buy the signature fragrance called Hoax Parfum, which mirrors the theme of beauty and vanity from the book, basically adding a sensory dimension to reading. We've also seen reading raves on the rise. So these are basically gatherings of people who want to read together. For instance, you have reading rhythms in New York, LA, and Croatia. And these are like social reading parties where people go to the park or to bars and coffee shops and read together and then talk about what they're reading and really socialize. So it's beyond the book club. It's really a place to just sit together in silence and then socialize. And as you can see on the screen, we also talked about this amazing campaign by Penguin Random House Canada. So they had tried to rethink story time for kids. And for that, they released an app called Living Stories. And this app basically sync up with the book you are reading and with your smart home appliances. And so while you read a story to your child, you can see the sound or the lights change as you go on within the story. And it really changes the whole experience and make it more multisensorial, dynamic, and it really enhances the children's connection to literature. Can you repeat the name of the creator of the campaign about the book and the perfume? Yes, this was Sable Young, and the book is called Die Hot with a Vengeance.
Now on to luxury. So luxury has long been synonymous with exclusivity and prestige, but today's brands are shifting beyond the traditional boundaries. From hyper-physical retail spaces to collaborations that blend fashion with art and entertainment with technology, luxury brands are reimagining how they interact with their audiences, especially now that the dupe economy is growing in size. This is a highly dynamic market that highlights the delicate balance between the old world and the new, and how brands need to constantly innovate in order to stay relevant. So our trend for today is tastemaker brands. So tastemaker brands like Loewe are leaning into heritage in order to tell immersive stories. Loewe's Crafted World exhibition in Shanghai showcased the brand's 178-year journey through craftsmanship, collaboration, and cultural influence. By offering a multi-sensory experience, Loewe has positioned itself not only as a luxury brand, but also as a tastemaker in art and in culture, and has strengthened its connection with its global audience, which is a theme that we've also discussed in our New Codes of Luxury 2024 to 2025 macro trend report.
Off to technology. So there's always a lot to say about tech, and the way we do it at the Future Laboratory and LSN is to view tech through the prism of beauty, food, entertainment, sports. But what was interesting for us while doing this research is that we really have seen a shift where you have on one side consumers who are embracing dumb tech and who are seeking minimalist devices to really escape the relentless demands of digital life. So think flip phones, neo Tamagotchis, And at the same time, you have AI just being deployed everywhere in all sectors, from retail to automotive. And so today I wanted to focus on what we are calling robotic retail. So this might sound a little bit Black Mirror, especially with the visual we chose for this, but it's not, because it's already happening. This is a reality now. So as retail robotics evolve next year, autonomous systems will transform how we shop, how we consume, and how we interact with everyday services. And these innovations are really paving the way for what we call smarter living, where efficiency, personalization, and cost effectiveness are the priority. And we will be able to do all of this through robotics and AI all around us. With two examples. The first one is Artly Coffee. And they basically invented the barista bot. So this is your robot barista. So imagine just one single articulated arm in the coffee shop, making everything, doing all the coffees, doing the latte art, taking your orders, warning you when the order is ready. All of this done by a robot. And at just 20 square feet, this compact robot offers cafe quality beverages at a fraction of the cost, with construction expenses only a sixth of those for a typical Starbucks store. Other example that we have is Doosan Robotics Mixmaster Moody. So this one is a robot bartender. Again, it already exists. So this robot bartender is basically able to make your drinks for you. It's made with rubber muscles, and it knows 24 pre-programmed cocktails. But what's new is that the robot also uses AI to scan your face and basically understand what kind of beverage you should be drinking based on your mood. That's the ultimate step towards hyper-personalization. It's basically you sitting in a bar, having a robot scan your face and deliver you the perfect drink based on your mood.
Now onto the future of fashion. So in 2025, fashion is set to be dynamic, blending creativity with sustainability, functionality, and digital innovation. As high-end designers collaborate with everyday brands, we're seeing a shift towards more inclusive and accessible fashion. Trends like performance wear and zero-waste initiatives are also gaining traction. Meanwhile, legacy looks are emerging as a platform for personal and national storytelling. The rise of shoppertainment is also transforming retail, merging shopping with entertainment to engage a digitally native audience in new ways. So as performance wear gains mainstream appeal, brands are integrating functionality into everyday fashion. Gymshark, for example, has designed a sweat headband specifically for textured hair, showcasing the industry's move towards more inclusive design. Women's activewear brand Sweaty Betty and femtech company Hertility have partnered to offer a range of activewear tailored to women undergoing significant life changes. So this could be either postpartum recovery or menopause, for example. And LSN Global has previously analysed this in our well-being report. Performance wear is projected to expand as a category in 2025, reflecting where fashion must cater to a variety of lifestyles and also physical and mental needs.
Amazing. I'm just going to answer one question from Beatrice, who asks, are there examples of the robot bartender, or is this the future? So if you read the report, we have another example of a boba tea robot. So again, it's just a robot making the boba tea for you from scratch. And this machine is already being used at the Netflix headquarters in the US. Next. Our last sector for today is design. So when we thought about, okay, what's next for design next year? It's a very big topic, but we curated it to really show how designers and creatives really have a share a collective desire to balance the old with the new. So we know that brands are tapping into retro aesthetics that evoke a longing for eras never lived by young generations, and we talk about this in a second. But we also talk a lot about sustainability in this section of the report and nostalgia. So new nostalgia vibe. So as you may know, we are all struggling at the moment with an oversaturation of content, noise, aesthetics, cores, TikTok trends, and all of these are being thrown at us nonstop. And we believe that nostalgia is making a major comeback because it provides comfort. And what's interesting is that we have seen brands tap into retro aesthetics or references, if you know references, to attract younger audiences like Gen Z. But what's new is that some of these people were actually not born when, for instance, those pictures of Princess Diana or David Beckham were taken, and now used by High Snobiety in their Not in London collection. So they were not born when this happened, but they have a longing for that era anyway. And this is what is called anemoia, a longing for a past that you have never experienced. One other example that we mentioned in the report is Gustini, the food marketplace. So they just changed their visual identity this year, and they went back to their roots, celebrating Italy's rich culinary history, but they also brought in modern design, for instance, with terracotta and ocean blue, evoking sun-drenched Italian markets. And nostalgia can also be used for good. In the report, we talk about Cadbury and their fantastic campaign that they released this year called Memory Bar Chocolate Boxes. And these were all designed to support dementia patients. So they partnered with the Alzheimer's Research UK Foundation. And basically, they released chocolates in the original wrappers and packaging from a few decades ago. And they re-released them to evoke memories as part of reminiscence therapy, really combining the brand's heritage with social impact. Oh, Jessie, the longing for a past you've never experienced is called anemoia, Anemoia.
Amazing. Now that is a little snapshot of the future forecast for today. The report is available to purchase for £95 via the Future Laboratory website or as part of a special bundle deal with the Future 5 for £150. And as an LSM member, you have unlimited access to the report as well as our entire trends library. LSN offers market-leading intelligence and a wealth of practical insight and foresight across multiple sectors. But Future Forecast is not the only downloadable report available from LSN. You can also access more reports from our shop via the Future Lab website. And some of the reports that we have online right now are Generations Now and Next, Functional Feasting, Innovation Debrief, and Game Changers.
Amazing. So now I guess it's time for our Q&A. So as you may know, we asked all people signing up to the webinar to ask any questions if they wanted to. So we had the whole list and we picked a few out of all of these questions. Probably let me just stop sharing. So Shay, the first question, how will nostalgia and desire for community shape the next 5 years? Is this an emerging trend you are seeing?
Definitely.
Big question.
Yeah, big question, but definitely seeing this trend emerging. And we've actually spoken about it in Future Forecast report. So we have a trend called club culture, which is all about the desire for in real life social connection and that deep desire for intimacy that Gen Z are really driving with their, like you said, reading raves, but also we have a report on LSN called the Gen Z Dating Futures, which really focuses on how they're shifting from URL, so online, to IRL connections, and how things like pickleball, reading, chess clubs are all becoming really popular places where Gen Z want to hang out.
Amazing. Next question is, what's the future of trends on social media and what impact does it have on today's internet culture? So it's a very interesting question because if you didn't see, TikTok released a very interesting report. I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago, around 2024 trends, what worked on the platform, the top music that played on the platform. And what was very interesting is that they realized that it was all down to the moment, to the serendipity, to the authenticity, and not basically preparing. Like if you look at Very Demure, Very Mindful, it has never been prepared. She was just on her way to work. So I think for next year, I would ask all brands to really focus on that serendipity and authenticity and not try to fabricate moments and just look at what's happening in the margins of social media, because that's where the creativity is. I would probably also say that one of the shifts I have been monitoring is what I call the creator cinematic universe. So this is when content creators create entire franchises based on their little YouTube channel that they started in their bedroom, or when they started dancing on Instagram and TikTok. And they turn that into a business with different ventures. And I've seen people, like for instance, launch specific services, collect data in a different way, because obviously when you have a lot of followers on Instagram or TikTok, you don't have access to your community's data specifically. So they create obviously newsletters, specific services, events, and they collect all that data that they can then resell or use with advertisers to create specific activations. And there's one thing that I really loved at Web Summit this year, that we are calling the Influencerverse. It was a demo of a Venezuelan content creator called Mar, M-A-R, and with the help of a company called Infinite Reality, they created some kind of a Roblox world, which is basically her flat, and all her fans or followers can enter that world for free. It's literally just like Roblox, and walk around, and they can see like cooking videos in the kitchen, and then they can see all her beauty stuff in the living room, or go upstairs in her bedroom and check all her clothes, and then buy the clothes as well. And what was interesting is that basically she was saying everyone who enters that world, who is her fan, obviously, she has access to their data, so name, email, etc., in full transparency, and she owns it, which is very new for influencers. So she can go to an advertiser and say, hey, I have 75,000 people who are interested in, I don't know, lipsticks, and I can show you the data and prove that if you pay me 6 figures, I can make you the best activation in my world.
Wow.
So I guess that's the future of content creation and influencing. So let's see, do we have more questions? We have something from Rebecca. Oh, interesting question. I would like to know how to start in trend forecasting. Is there any books or magazines to know? And she's from Peru. Very good question. But obviously, Alison,
yes, that's where to start
with us. And I think I would say stay curious.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Keep your eyes and ears open to everything and always be curious, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a routine, like to learn how to like news gather and build those skills, because the curiosity is great, but you need the discipline on top of it. And I would say always look at the things people are not looking at. So basically, if everyone is reading the Times or the Wall Street Journal, great. Well, maybe you should be reading Jing Daily or Cairo Scene to learn more about Egypt. Like there's always something new to learn elsewhere. So like don't trap yourself in a little bubble.
Yeah. Definitely. And also traveling and speaking to loads of people as well, I would say.
Definitely. Let's see, do we have more questions?
think we had
Um,
one on education and AI and how
Yeah,
they're
go for it.
converging. I'd probably say we have a really great report called the Synthesine Era, and we also have one on AI education, which is a really great deep dive on how Gen Alpha are merging technology, entertainment, and education together for enhanced learning. So that'd be a really great thing to read for that.
Definitely. Do we have any other question? Have you covered entertainment such as theatre in the report? That's a very good question. We covered a few different things, but not theatre. However, I will look into this for you. And in the report, we mentioned, for instance, how luxury brands are getting into museums. Do you maybe
Yes.
want to say a few words about this?
Yeah, definitely. So we have a few things in the luxury sector where we're talking about exhibitions. So I'd probably say to read the report in that section would be best.
Amazing. I love that people are promoting Martin's book in the chat. Thank you so much. And the masterclasses from Martin Raymond.
Love it.
Totally. Should we stop there? I can't see any other questions. But you're always welcome to email us if you'd like to ask more questions. And thank you so much for attending and joining us today.
Thank you.